Transformation in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, everybody. Welcome in, welcome in. This is a reading for the collective. Thank you so much for being here. We've got these games of storytelling by the Moth Radio Hour. It was gifted to the channel by a beautiful, beautiful gazer. Thank you so much. Because there's a gift also to my writers group, my local writers group, and we play these on sometimes. Chaos Kitten causing chaos and mayhem in the background. So if you hear noises, it's her. All right, so we're going to find out, tarot is stories. What is the story? What's the story that the collective needs to know? I heard group, empire. What is it that we need to be aware of right now, spirit? Rules. Damn. That's what I get for saying empire. And then this one says camp. Or what are the rules? It says, prepare a story about the regulations, the strictly prohibited and the mildly discouraged. School, religion, moral codes, your dad, the law, the golden rule or parking restrictions, white shoes in winter, 3 strikes and you're out, stories about principles, policies, and conventions. Rules are made to be broken. Tell us about a time you asked for forgiveness instead of permission. A time you broke your own rules. A time you colored outside the lines. Very, very interesting. The rules and regulations. What does this have to do with anything? The rules have been changing. Sometimes people who are in charge of the rules move the goalposts. They don't always adhere or follow their own rules, do they? Maybe those are the rules to be broken. What is ruling? Ruling is a measurement, right? A ruler. Interesting. Ancestors, spirits. Guys, what would you like to tell us about this? 7 of Cups. Lots of choices. A lot of confusion. It says stop procrastinating and overanalyzing. Get clarity on what you desire and move forward. Too many options, addictions. Make a choice. We have some choices to be made here that are outlined within the I'm hearing code book, rule book, whatever that might be, whether that's the Akashic records and the laws of the universe, or that's rules and regulations that you have to adhere to. It could be very confusing. You have to make a decision right now. A decision is like up in the air. 5 of Pentacles. And the reverse on the bottom. I'm seeing the letter G and the number 3, which is interesting. It's like they're connecting this with the 3 of Cups. Maybe they're connecting this with the Empress. There's Archangel Gabriel. We get another cup. Here's the cup. You make your choice and you make the one you love. You make the loving choice, the choice that's good for your heart. Like playful and friendly, right? With this dolphin at 222. No, it was 322. A beautiful new emotional experience, a romantic relation or a deep friendship, awakening of psychic abilities or spiritual insights, a love letter or a new home. And it's interesting too because, I'm thinking like, what are the rules for dating? Something I'll tell you here on this channel. I'll never give you dating advice. Too many variables. Too many variables. And so what we do here is we talk about ourselves. We look into the self. We examine our choices, the rules, the regulations within, right? And we grow through that so that our relationships improve in every facet, whether that be a romantic relationship or a friendship or a partnership in business, whatever it might be. If we are not confused about ourselves, we'll be much less confused about others, right? And so that's why if I give love advice, it's agape love, right? Not eros necessarily. Sometimes it does come up. And maybe that's what this is for you. I'm not downing it. I'm not knocking it. I'm doing what I'm called to do. And I'm called to not give romantic readings. People come in and ask me, here's like this confusion. People come in and ask me for readings. If your question is something of that nature, if you come in for a personal reading, that's fine. That's fine. 90% of the time, I will have no idea that that was what your question was because I don't ask. I let the cards tell me, inform. And I have a feeling that there's something about this. Like, now I'm telling you a story, right? What do you love? And what is your heart's desire, right? You can choose that today. Make a choice. Ace of Cups, Seven of Cups. Yeah, is it weighing on you? Ten of Wands. Is it feeling heavy? What are the rules? What are the rules? Like rules of the heart: respect, trust, love, honor. You know, guys. Nine of Cups. And you'll get your wish. Nine of Pentacles. Look, 9, 9. It's like you're almost there. And you're generating those wishes. You're generating those dreams from your own heartfelt actions. So when we talk about taking care of ourselves, it's a lot easier to take care of others if we've taken care of ourselves. It's a lot easier to navigate relationships, other people's needs. It's a lot easier to regulate all of those things, to understand what they mean and what is needed if we first understand ourselves. And by doing that, right, we get our wish. An offer of love is coming through here, and the gift of love itself, right? Maybe maybe it is romantic. Maybe it's a kind gesture from a friend, right? Maybe it's an apology. Whatever it is, it's the thing that you wanted it to be. It's the thing that you wanted. And there's no more confusion because you've made that choice. Right. I was just seeing this, stories about principles, policies, conventions. There could be certain rules that you've been following in regards to relationships with others, with the way that you handle love within yourself, right? Because those rules and regulations were put in place to give us a guideline to follow. Because love is very confusing. Emotions are very confusing, right? As a parent, you know that, like, if you're a parent, or I mean, most of us have had parents, right? Very, very confusing. I think that's why a lot of people like prefer the company of their pets, because you're not confused at all. You know your dog loves you. You know your cat loves you. You know you love them. It's not very muddied, is it? It's quite pure. Humans, it's a little different, right? So, we put these formalities in place. This is what we're supposed to do. I noticed it says like the dad on here. So I'm like the parental rules, right? The moral codes, the things that we're supposed to follow, societal expectations, right? The golden rule: do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. I think that you're starting to really realize where those rules help you and where they hinder you, or maybe some of those rules need to be broken or moved over, right? There's like that idea of, and here's like, we'll get into like we'll talk a little bit about the love, because it's all cups, right? A lot of times on these channels and in tarot readings, especially on YouTube, TikTok, whatever, the advice given to how to handle yourself, as opposed to the advice is how to handle others, quite contrary, very destructive, poison, if you ask me. Because we're telling ourselves that we're saying that for ourselves, things are important, things matter, we value, we matter. Don't take that crap from anybody. Stand up for yourself. Be the best you could be. Leave them behind if they hurt you. Don't ever talk to them again, right? That's what we're saying about these other people. Usually you're on the other side of it. It's like the person's getting told to not investigate, that the other person's a narcissist, all kinds of things. They're really toxic and destructive. The best thing to do is consult yourself. Consult yourself. Does it feel loving? Does it feel kind? Does it feel like there's reciprocity? Does it feel equal? Does it feel balanced? Do you feel good? When you're hanging out with that friend, when you leave, do you feel good? Do you feel that there's ease of conversation, ease and flow of movement of hearts? If you're going to express something, is it hard to say something? Sometimes it's hard to say something to a parent. Sometimes, I know, me personally, it's very hard for me to say something to a love partner. Very, very hard, because of personal experiences. My nervous system reacts to it. Sometimes it's easier if I write a letter. They don't always like that. people, my friends. They would rather have a conversation, right? That offering of love and affection, to breaking the rules, right? The rule says they want a conversation. My safety rule says I need to create a distance when expressing those things. You know, truth of the matter is that if you're with somebody who cares about you, you should be able to say it without repercussions in that sense. Now, we're all people and we all have feelings. We're all going to react to something, have a feeling about something on the inside, right? A time you broke your own rules, a time you colored outside of the lines. We're all going to have that. Are we going to give that leeway to someone else? What was the thing? What is the thing? What is the rule that was broken? If someone is lying to you, that's like kind of, I don't say that's like quite human and apropos, but I think like every human being, there's some statistic about it, lies like 50 times a day or something, and it's generally about things like, how are you? I'm fine. Did you do that thing? Yeah, I got it. Oh, I need to get to that. You know, those kinds of things, like, oh, I'm almost there, I left my house. Like those kinds of things, right? Those are like passable to get through the day, breaking the rule a little bit. They're not ill-intended or malicious. They're actually meant to like kind of smooth things over. You know, oh shit, I didn't leave my house yet. Yeah, I left. I'm on my way. I'll be there. And then you like run out the door, right? So the other person doesn't worry or get frustrated. You know what I mean? You are on your way. So that's not the lie. When lies in relationships between others, like business partners, whatever it might be, friendships, whatever, if it's malicious or it's meant to hide something from the other with the intention of being, you know, dishonest, that creates cracks and seeds in the trust foundation, right? And those things get bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's the potato. I call lying the potato, because it kind of is like the side dish that goes with everything else. Because if there's an increase in something negative done in the relationship between two people, maybe it's theft, maybe it's going behind someone's back, some kind of a betrayal, maybe it's cheating. You know, whatever caliber of the thing, they're going to be lying about it. There's going to be a potato on that plate with that dish, right? And those types of things are exceeding the level. Like those are like really, really, really breaking some rules of trust there. And so those are times of stepping outside of the line, and in relationships like that, you know, what can we do to heal a situation like that, or heal how someone else is behaving or what someone else is doing? In those cases, for self-preservation and protection and self-love, it's best to move away. You know, this is like the varying degrees of the infraction of the thing that was done to hinder or break the trust of love, right? Really matter. And if somebody is starting off on a level where they are being dishonest from the get about little things constantly, then you can bet that they're priming those wells to do those next things up, so that they understand how to lie to you and how you accept a lie. Those are the types of relationship patterns that need to be broken. I can't tell you how many times it's happened to me in familial relationships, in friendship relationships, in business partnerships. I'm super sketch. So don't even get me started on romantic relationships, because that's where it all starts bubbling up and coming out, right? And you can say, well, repercussions for your actions, but I never cheated on anybody one time in my entire life. Never one time, but I've been cheated on a lot. So all of these weird things that they tell us in these tarot readings about, like, behave this way or act this way, or these weird YouTube videos and things like that, it's time that they're very toxic. It's time that we start consulting ourselves. That's the main objective on this channel. And there's something really strong coming through here about honoring your own wishes, about honoring your own heart, about having that respect and laying the foundations in relationships that have that mutual trust and respect. Sometimes things get screwed up and we have to apologize. Sometimes things get screwed up and we don't understand. Sometimes we're confused. Those types of things, it's okay. It's okay to figure them out. You know, but like, where do we feel like it feels like there's like an infraction of a rule being broken, right? And you got to decide what that is on your own. There's value. You have value in and of yourself. Yeah, maybe you can take care of yourself. You know, do you feel your self-worth? Maybe you got millions of dollars in the bank. How do you feel about you when you look in the mirror? You know, have two nickels are rubbed together and you know that you're a good person and you feel good in your heart and you can walk out of your door with your head held up high, knowing that you take care of you emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and for all of those things, the material world, I don't say like it has less value, but it takes its spot on the rungs. You know, is your physical self taken care of? How much more do you need to make yourself feel good? Right. Ooh, the breaking of the rules. It just really feels like this. When you make the choice and choose the things and stop letting all of these things confuse you according to what you think they should be or how it should be regulated. If it's honest, if it's caring, if it's pure, if it comes from a good place, you know, it might be worth examination. Look, and keeping that to yourself. Ooh, High Priestess. Secrets, things hidden, things maybe you're not talking about. This is your intuition coming through here. There's a very like feminine mystique about this. Doesn't matter your gender. It's that internal knowing. It's those guidelines. And she's the Piscean energy, right? Water energy coming through here. The hidden things, the knowing, the hidden depths, really digging down into your subconscious mind, really digging down into that heart space where you've hidden all of those secrets of the lessons that you've taught yourself and examining them. Maybe the lessons other people taught you too. Thank you, Spirit. Touche. And revealing those secrets to yourself, but maybe not to others. Right. Yeah. It's like this private journey, 10 of Scrolls, the private journey inward. Ancestors, what else? About the artists here. Learning about other people. This is about the artist of the deck and the writer of the words. It's about Holly Sierra and Tony Brooks. Taking the time to get to know yourself, someone else, the other, really getting to know who we are here. 8 of Stones, and it's Stonehenge. It's the stone circle, the megaliths with the cauldron. All of the parts needed to do the work, bringing the things, the supplies needed to do the job, coming equipped. Right, equipped for this thing. And then it's like, it's interesting too, is like all this water, all we have out is water and earth right now. And as I say that, it's the Hierophant on the bottom, the divine child, Taurus energy, earth energy. And all of the creations. Talk about rules and regulations. Of course the Hierophant will pop out, huh? With these 8 of Stones. Hey, sissy. Okay. Yeah, maybe you're kind of keeping it to yourself, the things that you're working on, until you have them in play. And that's another one of the rules of the universe, right? About like leaking things out, about leaking out information out into the ethers. And I think I talked about that recently in the other reading too, about like holes in the bucket. Right, and how they drain, and whatever those spaces might be, is like pouring water into a sieve, right? And here we have the ability to create the cauldron. Look, cauldron, seashell. I love that underneath of that was Mott, Justice, because if we put Justice and the Hierophant together, both of those are Taurus and Libra. It's the Empress energy, and I kind of love that so much. Oh, but that's what I wanted to show you, the seashell. So look, it's that loving cup. And when we make that choice, that healthy choice to choose the thing that we love, the thing that we love is offered to us, we get so many more wishes. Like I turned into a genie lamp there, and he like rubs the lamp, and all of those wishes come through, and you could have any of the ones you want, right? It's like maybe like creating that cup for yourself. This is the order they came out in. Like brewing something new, right? It's just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous energy. It feels so secure. It feels safe. It feels loving, right? Yeah, we got to rebuild ourselves. We're going to rebuild our relationships. We got to rebuild ourselves. Absolutely, we do. Ancestors, spirits, guides, what message would you like to leave us with? Oh, it's telling me you ain't leaving yet. We're going to do this one, and we're going to get a somatic exercise to do. Talk about the physical. Talk about that emotional space, the emotional heart space. Where can I set this without making a bunch of noise? This idea about love. Like I'm feeling this letter. Communication. This is about waiting. Like someone's sitting around waiting on communication for someone, from someone else, from something else. Waiting for the idea to come through differently, I'm hearing. And I opened it right to it. Messages, deadlines, anticipation. Waiting, waiting, waiting. All my life I've been waiting for my life to begin. As if somehow my life was ahead of me and that someday I would arrive at it. Carmen Mannheim. Waiting for a message to arrive can bring anxiety, fear, hope, good news or bad news, acceptance or rejection. A ticking clock counts down the remaining time. I'm like my ring finger on my right hand is like super itching right now. Okay, a young woman has been waiting anxiously, and the sleeping dog suggests she has done so for some time. The phone is silent, and the bouquet of roses suggests a previous response was received, but from who? The same sender or someone else? Either way, the anticipated answer finally arrives, but by now the clock indicates the hour is past. Just in time or too late? The process of waiting for a response isn't merely one of passing time patiently. The immediacy or tardiness of a response may also provide some insight beyond the message itself. A deadline imposed may be tied to a condition or ultimatum. Is there flexibility, or has the opportunity been lost? Interesting. A couple days ago, we had a reading called time. What was it said? It was about divine timing and like imperfect timing, proper timing. That's what it was. It has to be in proper timing, and the timing leak out. Excuse me. Spilt away. Things being rushed, people being rushed. What is this business? And if you've ever looked into any of my work, you know that I'm a little obsessed with Stone Age clocks, Iron Age clocks, basically all the ways that humans took count. The things that they left us to know how they paid attention to the rotations of the stars, Earth, planet, sun, whole line. And here, this would be a clock, and here is a clock, and this clock has been there, waiting around for quite some time. So what are you waiting for? What are you waiting on? What are the messages coming through here? Ace of Cups, messages coming through from the heart space. You know, you're sitting here independently waiting for a confirmation of some kind of a commitment from someone. Yeah, we're going to do this. Let's get to it. You know, some kind of project that you've been wondering about, a job, a movement. Maybe you invited your friend to go, I'm hearing, to a concert, and you're like, are we going or what? Yes, the information, the message is coming through. Don't worry. Forget to get to know yourself a little better. What are the rules of this game? You know the 3-second rule? Okay, ancestor spirits. If you know, you know. Ancestor spirit guide. What can we do? What somatic exercise can we do that will help us regulate our systems through this, our nervous systems? Oh, I love it. It's one of my favorite. Freeform dance. Oh, just feeling it. I love it. Freeform dance involves spontaneous movement without set choreography, allowing for personal expression and emotional release. It promotes creativity, self-discovery, and well-being, often used in therapeutic settings like dance therapy. Oh, my friend Vanessa just showed me this guy not too long ago that does these somatic dances. Oh, I can't remember his name. If I find him, I'll put him in the link. I'll see if I can find him. Close your eyes and let the music guide you as you sway, twirl, and step to the beat. Feel the energy flowing through you, releasing any tension or stress. Embrace the freedom of movement and connect with your inner self. Dance as if no one is watching, allowing yourself to be completely immersed in the present moment. Let the music be your guide as you express yourself through the language of the body. Wow. This is amazing. You know, I was watching this thing about the difference between it was a clinician, so it was very, very clinical analysis about what book things were in and stuff. But what's the difference between CPTSD and which is like childhood PTSD or complex PTSD, both separate, same, or standard PTSD, and that's a long story, but one of the things that, I mean, obviously, like CPTSD is something that happens over a long period of time. It's consistently exposed to the same trauma and repeatedly until maybe at a young age or maybe at an adult age, but again, it's like this consistent repetition over an extended period of time that kind of changes the mechanisms in the nervous system and the brain. And why do we respond the way we do? And how can we maybe get rid of some of those built up muscle memory spaces, right? And one of the things that he was saying, which rang particularly true for me, is that long form yoga, sometimes yoga, because of the positions of it, while yes, highly beneficial, I'm not knocking yoga, please do yoga, please stretch, and take those deep breaths. But sometimes some of the positions can be traumatic, can like trigger some things within people who have those long standing muscle memory storage spaces, right, within us. And so free form movement allows us to notice those spaces. Nia, I did Nia for years and years. I still do Nia. It's neurointegrated activity. It's a wonderful dance, free form barefoot dance that's like an aerobic supplement. And what it does is it helps you find the joy in your body. It helps you identify the spaces where maybe you are holding on to stress, or maybe you are used to holding yourself a certain way, out of fear or out of self-preservation, protection, holding yourself back in those senses. Where you hold stress is often a measure or indicator of the type of stress that you're holding, right? And having to heal through those wounds. So sometimes free-form dance can be a really great way to feel those spaces, to let your body move free without having to follow any rules. Right? Freeform dancing, you don't have to follow any rules. Like, where is your body comfortable? If it's uncomfortable there, then stop. Move in a different direction, But why are you feeling those places in those spaces? Why are you feeling that way there? Why does your neck hurt? Why do your feet hurt? Why do you have pain in your knees? All of those things are telling you a story about yourself. And through freeform movement, we can identify those things and we can kind of release some of them. Then we can go sit into those spaces, those yoga positions that maybe previously were very difficult for our nervous system to regulate itself around. And yet now we find ourselves able to take on those roles, take on those positions, and stretch those spaces where maybe we've been really pent up, right? And we're doing that without the rules, no time regulation. Take your time, have fun, do what you need to do for you, because your wishes are coming through, and that's what part of the work is. Okay, that's that internal work. Working through those things in yourself, so that you can have better relationships and get to know others and let others get to know you in a much healthier way. Okay, I hope, gosh, that was a lot today. I hope that was helpful. I hope that you got something out of it. If you did, let me know by hitting that like button, subscribing. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. And thank you for coming back and visiting us again next time. Bye.
Transformation in 3, 2, 1.